All right, shalom, shalom. First thing first, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. Salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth, and all sincerity and diligence, risking your lives and freedoms to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect, as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. This is your brother Rakakabar, all right, back at you again with a lesson, all right. With every temptation, all right, the Lord provides an escape route. Okay, with every temptation, all right, the Lord provides an escape route. Okay, and we'll start here in the book of 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. All right, it says, there hath no temptations like it taking you, but such as is common to man. All right, meaning the different temptations you may have to you deal with. There are brothers, sisters in this thing that have gone through similar, temptations. It says, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. All right. So ultimately, if the Lord is putting you, certain trials, all right, and whatnot, it's because he knows that you can overcome it. Okay. He knows that you can overcome it. And this is why the Lord said your same afflictions, all right, are accomplished by your brethren that are in the world, man. Okay. Meaning, there's brothers, or whatnot that may have been dealing with similar things you've been dealing with, all right, and have been able to, accomplish those things, man. Okay. And the Lord doesn't, put more on you, all right, than you can bear, even though you may feel, like it's more than you can bear. Okay. The Lord, all right, knows us, better than we know ourselves. All right. It says, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it, man. All right. And that's, what I want to highlight on in this lesson is that with the temptations we may deal with, which there's a whole list of things you can be tempted with, even going off on the Shabbat, it's Shabbat and, you may be dealing with a woman or something, or you maybe kicking it, Shabbat is coming up, then, it's time to, make a move. All right. But, that's just an example. But the Lord, all right, provides a way for us to escape these temptations, man. It says that ye may be able to bear it. All right. And, I had this, this is like a, you want to call it, it's like a little thing, common thing. It's like an analogy or whatever. But it's the instance where the guy is drowning and he prays to the Lord, all right, to save him. All right. And ultimately the Lord, sent a boat, okay, a guy on a boat. And he told the guy on the boat, no, he's waiting for the Lord to deliver him. And then the Lord sent him a helicopter. All right. And he said, no, I'm waiting on the Lord to deliver me. All right. And they say he died and went to heaven. And he said, ultimately, the Lord was like, look, man, I sent you the boat and the helicopter and you refused both of them. All right. And that's, just the, just a little example how oftentimes, you may be, going through something, a temptation or a trial. All right. Or you may need the Lord's help. All right. And, you looking for his help and he sends it, but you refuse it. OK, you don't take it. All right. And that's why, I'm doing this lesson, because the Lord provides escape routes with these temptations, man. He don't just, have us going through this shit, with no way out. And, the longer you've been in the truth, we begin to pick up on these cues, man. Like I say, it may be, where the Lord shows you that he's trying to prevent you from going through with whatever said temptation is, man. Okay, you may get a phone call, it's many things that the Lord can do. Because even when we do lessons or when we go out to camp or we do these shows, right, we know Satan tries to fuck with us, man. You may have a phone call come through, or the internet connection start fucking up, all right, or the video will be choppy. That's Satan trying to buffet the truth. Okay, but even the angels, man, they come to our aid all right, in our moments, our dark moments, all right, where we're being tempted, and they provide the escape routes for us, man. You know, they try to prevent us from going through with certain things, man. And you have to recognize the those those way outs. All right, instead of refusing them, you got to recognize them, man. Okay, the Lord may send it to where angel tries to prevent you multiple times, man. Like maybe I shouldn't go there, or maybe I shouldn't do this, right? And you got to pick up on that, man. You know, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. We got to pick up on it, but also escape. Okay, we also got to escape. All right, it says this. The post says God often answers prayers through ordinary means or through other people. Yeah, because scriptures say some have entertained angels unawares. The Lord can send an angel to prevent you from, going a certain way. We're going to read the account with Balaam, okay, which, he was hired by Balak, the king of Moab, to curse the Israelites. Well, the Lord sent the angel to prevent Balaam 3 different times, okay, which we'll grab it real quick, but showing you the Lord can do that, man. All right. And we often, ignore those signs, man. But it says sometimes we miss his help because we expect it to look dramatic or supernatural. It says open your eyes, recognize his provision, and act when it comes. Yeah, we have to. When the Lord is sending you way outs, man, you got to take them. Even though the temptation or urge may be there, all right, trying to prevent that. Okay, you ain't gonna be able to say, well, the Lord didn't give me a way out, because scripture said he does, man. It says, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, man, that you may be able to bear it. Yeah, so, like I said, many different ways can the Lord speak to you, man. You got to pick up on it. All right, scriptures may start running through your head. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. And I'm going to just use that for an example because I used it earlier. But, it can apply to whatever, temptations you may be dealing with. Scriptures might start running through your head. Like I said, whatever you're trying to do, certain obstacles may be in the way. And it's like, hold up. And it may happen multiple times because we know 3 goes into understanding. Okay. And that's the account with Balaam. The angel was trying to prevent him 3 times, man. And it don't always got to be 3. I'm just using this as an example. This is Numbers 22. I might have to, jump around. So I'm not going to grab the whole chapter, but Numbers 22 and let's start at verse 18. It says, and Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Yahweh, my power to do less or more. Yeah, because the Lord was pretty much telling Balaam that, no, man, I'm not going to allow you to curse the Israelites. All right. Because Balak, he was persistent. Okay. He was persistent with it. All right. And that's how these temptations are, persistent. They're constantly, you get hit with it. It's just like, it's consistent. But it says, verse 19, now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what Yahweh will say unto me. And power came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shalt thou do. And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. And the Most High's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of Yahweh stood in the way for an adversary against him. See? Now he was riding upon his ass, and his 2 servants were with him. And the ass, the donkey, saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way. See that? And his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. Okay, so that was the first time, right? The Lord prevented, via the angel, the Lord prevented Balaam for going through. All right, going through with it, man. It says, and Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. But the angel of Yahweh stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she thrust herself onto the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. See, and smote her again. So that was the second time. And the Lord may not do something as extreme, as he used the donkey to crush Balaam's foot. Like, look, man, pick up on what I'm trying to show you. All right. But the Lord he may, sometimes, have it to where, you might be trying to go see a bitch, shorty that, a different state, or, I'm just using an example. She may be in a different state and it may not be, the bitch may be in a fucking, somewhere in a sundown town for all you know. And the Lord knows, and you may not know, and the Lord, may have some, fucking with your whip, right, or whatever the case may be, and it's like, well, shit, it just wasn't meant. Yeah, that could be the Lord, preventing you from something you didn't even know was there, present. It says, and when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she thrust herself onto the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he smote her again. And the angel of Yahweh went further and stood in a narrow place where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. So that was 3 times, man. The angel prevented Balaam. And Yahweh opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? Yeah. Then the Lord, allowed the donkey to speak. And like, even this post say, you're not going to always have a dramatic or, a completely, divine situation like that. But these are still examples for us to learn from and to glean from, and hell, the Lord can have, certain things like that play out, in your life, man, you see. All right. But it say, verse 29, and Balaam said to the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in my hand, for now I would kill thee. And he wanted to kill the donkey. Whole time the Lord was using the donkey that seen the angel, man, to prevent Balaam. Okay. And the ass said unto Balaam, am not I thy okay, I'm gonna skip to the 31. Then Yahweh opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed down his head and fell flat on his face. And the angel of Yahweh said unto him, wherefore hast thou smitten thine ass these 3 times? Behold, I went out to withstand thee, because thy way is perverse before me. See? All right. And the ass saw me and turned from me these 3 times, unless she had turned from me. Surely now also I had slain thee and saved her alive. All right. It says, and Balaam said unto the angel of Yahweh, I have sinned, for I knew not that thou stoodest in the way against me. Now, therefore, if it displease thee, I will get me back again. All right. But, that was pretty much the point. I'm going to end it off there. You can read the chapter. But, the angel was trying to prevent Balaam from going through with the men of Balak. Okay. And the Lord does that in our personal lives, man. With these temptations, he provides escape routes, and he tries, may put obstacles in your way. All right. May have certain things happen to prevent you from doing it. And, the first time you refuse it, second time you refuse it, you may refuse the escape routes. The Lord sent the boat and the helicopter, and dude ignored all of them, man. It's like, what more do you need? But hey, sometimes, you ignore the escapes. All right. And that's, we that's what happens from time to time, but we have to learn to take those escape routes, man, when they're there. Okay. Cause you don't want to fall into temptation. All right. And sin. And now you get convicted in the spirit. Now you gotta, try to get back on track, and nobody likes the feeling, but Lord willing, I was edifying. I'm gonna end it off there. Give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakadash, DTA Wababa Ball, Shalom.